Right, we're now going to take a look at motion under constant acceleration, and in particular we're going to look at the constant acceleration equations, also known as the SUVAT equations. Let's start by defining the variables we're going to use in these equations. We'll be using S to represent displacement, U will represent the initial velocity, V will represent final velocity, A will be acceleration, and T will be time. And so there are 5 equations that we need to know, the first 2 of which are V equals U plus AT and S equals a half U plus VT. Now, to begin with, we're not going to look at how to derive these equations. We're first going to learn how to apply them. Once we have a little bit of experience applying them, we'll then come back later and look at how to derive them. The reason I'm going to do it that way round is that applying the equations is less difficult than trying to derive them, and it doesn't make sense to start with the hardest thing first. Once you've gained a bit of familiarity and fluency with these equations, proving them will be much simpler and you're more likely to remember how to do it. Now, these 2 equations can be seen from the graphs of motion under constant acceleration. And from these 2 equations, we can derive 3 more. V squared equals U squared plus 2AS, S equals UT plus half AT squared, and S equals VT minus a half AT squared. So some things I'd like you to notice about these equations. Each equation has 4 variables. And that means that in each equation, one of these values won't be used. And so when deciding which equation to use, in general, for the simplest problems, 3 of the values will be given to you, and then you'll choose the appropriate equation to find the 4th value. It's worth noting that these equations are given in your formula book, so initially that's a place you can look for them if you need them. However, most people find that by memorising these equations, you actually make applying them less cognitively demanding. Because if you have to stop doing a question to look up a formula in a formula book, it kind of ruins the flow of being able to do that question. So although the formula book is there as a backup, I would strongly recommend memorising these 5 equations as soon as possible. And if you use the right strategies of self-testing, that can be done really quickly. If you have the time spare now, it might be worth spending just 5 minutes trying to learn these equations. Cover them up, try and write them down, and then check your answers. If you do that a few times, what you'll probably find is that each time you do it, you'll successively get more and more of each formula right, and it won't actually take you that long of self-testing until you can actually do them all correctly. After that, a few hours or days later, you'll probably have forgotten them unless you're using them regularly. So you'll probably find for most people it will take more than one set of self-testing in order to really make them stick. But please do trust me, it is well worth the effort.